Hey guys, this is Alex, and I'm going to be doing another book review. And this is for another book series, and it's a completed book series. I'll try to keep this short because I know the last one was insanely long. And anyways, the book series that I'm going to be reviewing for you is the Face on the Milk Carton book series, written by Caroline B. Cooney. These books were originally published in 1990, so these are 22 years old. I picked these back up when it was 2005, I believe. So I've read these books a long time ago, about 7 years ago. But anyways, I'll get on with it. So the first book is The Face on the Milk Carton, and it's about a girl named Janie Johnson and her discovery or realization that she has been kidnapped. Well, like the title says, she finds her face on a milk carton. She recognizes herself mainly because of the dress. She remembers that her hair and the dress, and she realizes that she has been kidnapped. And she kind of goes through the journey of kind of thinking that she hasn't been kidnapped and her denial of this kidnapping. And her parents, Frank and Alice, that they're kidnappers and that they're not, but that they are. She kind of goes through this weird spiral. She's kind of losing her sanity over it. But basically, she ends up discovering that her parents aren't her parents. Her parents believe that she's their grandchild, but then she looks into it and realizes that she's not their grandchild. She in fact was a kidnapped child. Their daughter Hannah kidnapped her, and so she's been going through this kind of revelation that she hasn't kidnapped, and it goes through her journey and her relationship with the boy next door, Reeve Shields, who is one of the most interesting characters I've read, I believe. So she goes through that, and the novel ends with her making a phone call to her biological parents, and then the start of the next one, What Happened to Janie, is it takes place about maybe a week or two after the phone call, and she goes back to New Jersey with her biological family. Her parents, her older brother Stefan, her older sister Jody, and her younger brothers Brian and Brendan. And she's kind of struggling with the fact that she's in a new place. She's actually a year younger than what she thought she was, thinking she was 15, turning 16, and in reality, she's 14, turning 15. I believe she's actually 15. So she's a year younger than what she thought, and she has to she struggles. She misses Frank and Alice, and she's having a hard time adjusting to this new life with her biological parents, and it's something that she doesn't know what to do. She doesn't know how to cope. She does find balance, a semi-balance, but she feels like she's splitting herself into two, good Janie and bad Janie. Bad Janie wants to get away from her biological parents and go back to Frank and Alice, but good Janie wants her to stay with her parents and spend some time with them. And she's having some difficulties with that. It takes a visit from Reeve for her family to kind of start to realize that she needs to go back with the Johnsons, and that she's not Jenny anymore. She stopped being Jenny the day she was kidnapped, which was when she was 3. And she hates herself for it. She really does. She's angry with herself that she's allowed herself to kind of do this and to hurt her parents. She really does love her parents, but she needs to be with Frank and Alice. They need her more. Her parents have her other siblings, so she really does need to be with them, and it hurts her siblings. Stefan and Jody are obviously mad about it. Brendan and Brian don't understand enough to kind of comprehend it, but I think Brian gives her the benefit of the doubt. She seems to have a close bond with her siblings, and she does, but she's a little confused. Janie is lost, in metaphorically and physically. She's kind of lost herself. And her mom takes her back to live with the Johnsons, and she realizes that the Springs do love her more. They're willing to send her back and let her live the life that she had before. And she hates herself. She hates herself that she's putting her mom, her biological mom, at this. She loves her family, but she doesn't know how to cope with it. So she's angry. Stefan and Jody are obviously angry. The fact that their sister chose to leave, and that's hard. But they go hunting for Hannah. They decide that they're gonna go and look and find her, and kind of just question and demand why she took their sister. But they don't find her. They go to New York and they try to look for her, and they can't find her. And so they kind of just give up, and that's the end of the second novel. Which then leads us to the third novel, Livestrong novel, The Voice on the Radio, and that starts off with emails between Reeve and Janie, how she misses him and how he misses her. And Reeve got into college. Everyone thought he wouldn't, but he did. And he gets a job at the radio station, and he starts telling Janie's story. He's exploiting her. He's selling her out for a job. And Jody, Brian, and Janie decide that they're gonna go see Reeve, and they happen to be listening to his show, and they hear what he's talking about. They hear the story, and they've been dubbed the Janies. She gets angry. Jody calls him at the station. She's like, you need to come and talk to her. And he does, but he actually gets a call a few minutes before Jody calls, and it's from someone claiming that they're Hannah. They're like, you have to stop this. I'm Hannah. You're talking about me. He obviously, he doesn't believe it, and he keeps going on with it, and it throws everything. He's really freaked out, but he goes to see them, and Janie calls off their relationship. She's angry with him. She goes back to New Jersey with Jody and Brian to go see their mom, and it's her mom knows. Her biological mom knows. The Johnsons don't know, because it would put a strain on their relationship, because the Johnsons and the Shields, they are neighbors. So she's mad at him, and she cries to her mom about it, and her mom just holds her and lets her cry. And she does confess that she does love Reeve, and her mom feels for her, because her baby is sad. She had her heart broken, and I think any parent would feel the same way if that happened. So it's a relatable book series. And it ends with her being angry at Reeve and not wanting anything to do with him, but being kind of stuck in that she has to deal with him. Reeve gets a hold of the tapes that have the Janies that are recorded, and he throws them into a river, hoping that they'll just be enough. And he goes back home, and he can't get away from Janie because she's helping with his sister Lizzie's wedding, and it's really awkward. And with that, the ending of that sour note ending, it kind of picks up with the last novel on what Janie found. This takes place, her dad has had a heart attack, and he is, or was it it's a heart attack or a stroke, I can't remember which it is. And Frank goes into the hospital, and Janie has to start paying the bills, and she comes across an envelope labeled, well, it's not an envelope, she comes across a folder in his desk drawer labeled Hannah, and in it there is a separate checkbook, for her dad, and it's got an address, and she realizes that it's where her brother Stefan is living now and going to college. And Janie comes up with this idea that she's gonna go to Boulder and see her brother. That's her plan, but really she's gonna go and confront Hannah, because she wants to question her as to why she kidnapped her, why she chose her out of all the other kids she could have kidnapped, why choose her. And she goes, she meets Stefan's girlfriend, who she doesn't like at all, because she wants to get the story out of Janie and hoping that they'll confess about what it was like for her to be kidnapped and all of this. And no, Janie doesn't want to talk about it. She's found a balance kind of that works, but at the same time she hasn't. But she's found a balance that works for her of being with her her biological family and her parents. So I mean, it's a work in progress. Brian and Reeve don't want to leave her alone for a minute because they're afraid of what she's going to do. They kind of know what she's going to be planning, and they don't want to leave her alone for a single minute, knowing that she'll go and possibly confront Hannah. And so they don't leave her alone for a second. And while she's in Boulder, she enjoys time with her brother, with Stefan, and she comes to the realization that she doesn't want anything to do with Hannah. She has the checkbook. She decides to give Hannah the rest of the money that is in the account, and she sends her a note saying that that's all she's getting. She's not getting any more. And she does that on her last day in Boulder. And she leaves Boulder, and she feels she's at peace now, knowing that Hannah can't do anything to her anymore, and that, she has a relationship with Stefan, which means that she'll probably see him when he comes home for Christmas, and she goes back to the Springs to spend Christmas with them or visit. And in a way, I think it helped her brother Brian, because Brian feels like it's always been Brendan, never Brian. So it helped all of them come to peace. And she ends up, she forgives Reeve, surprisingly enough, and she enjoys having that relationship with Stefan. It's something that they never had when she was in New Jersey, just because they were so busy being angry with each other. And she's at peace, and it's a good way to end the series, I think, her being at peace after all this, after her life kind of just spiraled into chaos. She's at peace. And I think you know, I've loved this book series. For a really long time. Janie is a strong character. You see her evolve from being a weak and miserable little girl to being a bright, strong-headed young woman. And while she doesn't always have the smartest ideas, she does listen, which is something that's amazing. So I'm gonna leave the all the author information, and I'm gonna leave a link down below for Caroline B. Cooney's website. I believe she was planning to write a ebook of like a continuation of Janie's story. I don't know if she's done that. I haven't been on her website in a while, but I will leave a link below for you guys on that. I'm hopefully gonna have another book review up, or maybe an outfit of the day series, or an outfit of the day up for you. I have one that I'm kind of editing, but I kind of lost my camera, so that's gonna be fun finding it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Bye guys!